next challenge is called Spongebob meme. Remember the Spongebob meme that is meant to make fun of people by repeating what they say in a mocking way? And then insert funny meme right here. Notice the casing. You've got a quote and then the mocking is done by adjusting the case of the letters. You need to create a function that converts the input into this format with the output being the same string. I think they mean except there is a pattern of uppercase and lowercase letters. So you'll see the input could be any sort of upper or lower, it doesn't really matter. But the output is going to alternate from a capital letter to a small, upper, lower, upper. So yeah, upper would be where the space is, but there's no letter there. Lower, upper, lower, upper, lower, upper. It would be lower, but there's a space, upper again. I think that's clear. You can see what's going on there. So yeah, simple enough. We've learned enough to handle a problem like this. So go ahead and pause the video and come on back when you're ready. I'm going to do a LINQ solution here. So we'll bring in that namespace. Now, what can we do? I'm going to use, we're doing a transformation, right? We're sort of transforming characters. And if you remember the select method that we've been using lately, it's described that way in the docs page. It sort of projects each element into sort of a new sequence, possibly. So in our case, what is sentence? It's a string, right? And we know that strings are collections of characters. So I'm going to use ch for my character variable name. We're going to put a lambda in here, and then I'll put let's go index. I'll call my index. Remember, we just looked at this. Select has an overload that allows you to include the index if that's helpful for you. So we'll do that, and then we'll put our body in here. And so think about it. What do we need to do? Well, we said we were alternating. You can think of it then like for even positions, the letter will be uppercase, and for odd positions, the letters will be lowercase. So hopefully you remember by now the way to check whether a value is even or odd. And we could do that by saying index modulo 2 is equal to 0. It would mean that it's even, right? And if it is, we use, we'll make an uppercase letter. I think we've seen this before, but I'll take you to the doc page for that. This char class in the system namespace has a toUpper method, and we don't need the culture info. And you just pass it the character, and it will handle giving you back the uppercase. And feel free to look at that example if you'd like, but this is essentially what we will be doing. So we'll say char toUpper ch. Otherwise, right, we know the ternary operator we're using here, right? We make a true or false sort of predicate here. You list the question mark, you list what to do if it's true, then a colon, and what to do if it's false. ch. Good. So that is our select statement. At this point, we know that select returns an I enumerable of whatever type you're dealing with, in our case, char. And so we also know then we need to return a string. And what we can do is that we know enumerables have this toArray method, remember? And feel free to look any of this up again if you don't remember. We've looked at it in the past, but if you don't remember, just pause the video and pull up the docs on that. You can go to the enumerable class. So at this point we have an array of characters, right? And if you recall, the string class, one of its overloads for constructing strings will take an array of characters and construct a string out of that. So something like this should work. We'll probably need the system namespace as well, like we saw when we looked up char toUpper. So let me run a test on this and see what we get. Okay, we've got all green, that's good. And we'll hit the full attempt and good. So we're clear to submit here. I thought, just since this is a short video, one that you probably didn't have too much trouble with, I just wanted to do something to highlight how lambdas work. If you're comfortable with lambdas, feel free to stop the video here, but I'm just going to show you how you can break this out. So let's make it a method and then just pass the method. For example, now what do we need, right? We need to return a character, right? That's what we're doing. We're, with our select statement, we're projecting into a new form, a new sequence. In our case, we're going to stay with characters. We're just making them uppercase or lowercase. So we know that our return type is char, right? For each, remember, select's going to grab each element of sentence at a time. It's a character, and it's going to return a character, right? We returned either the uppercase version or the lowercase version. And you can call this whatever you want. I'm just going to call it my lambda, because we're, even though this isn't a lambda, I'm trying to highlight how lambdas work. So you begin to see them as not these obscure things with weird syntax. You see, hey, that's just a really nice shorthand way to write a function. And so look at, we know this is our parameter list. You can almost cut that and paste it, but you have to provide the types in a full method here, right? So look at that, you got, it matches. You can see how that matches the parameters list. They both match. And we're returning a char here, just like that. And then basically you can do the same thing. It's the same logic, almost. You know, we use return statements in our methods. Return index module 2, go uppercase or lowercase, something like that. And then I just want you to see that these things are equivalent. That's all I'm trying to demonstrate here. Then I can just put my lambda in. And this should still work if I did everything right. Yeah, still works, right? So hopefully that provides a nice visual for you if lambda functions or anonymous functions were still kind of weird to you, and maybe you'll even appreciate, like, hey, if I just have this one-time function that I'm using, I don't need to write out all this formal, you know, accessibility modifier and static and return and a whole body like this. If it's something small and concise, I can just put it right in place there, right? So just a little extra thing that might help you visualize. And hopefully now when you look at this, it doesn't look like some big scary thing. It's just like, oh yeah, I see what they did. They just put a method right in there. It's nice that C# allows us to do that if we want to. So I'll go ahead and hit the attempt again, or we're green. I'll go ahead and submit this, collect those honor points, always get them, always improving. And yeah, so you had string concat there with the same kind of logic. You know what to do. Go ahead and look through these, see if there's anything else to learn. We've seen some string builder. Somebody was looping on their own. That's just fine too. If you looped on, made your own loop. LINQ isn't perfect. It doesn't. Not everything has to be a LINQ solution, and LINQ isn't always the fastest. So, but yeah, hit me up in the comments. Tell me what you came up with, or if you have any questions. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.